Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of August 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. Wednesday the 13th, not Friday the 13th, Wednesday the 13th. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. Of course, already early this morning, we're hearing of actually, I crossed it this morning, a 3-vehicle accident in the vicinity of Daniels Drive and near to Savannah Meadows. And when you observe the type of driving that takes place on our roads, then we expect nothing but accidents to occur as well. Then we're hearing of road rage, people who want to go faster, but there are those who are driving at the legal limit, and then those who want to go faster, exhibiting their frustrations. Received a message this morning from one driver who observed the situation, even to the point where some construction worker in a blue Honda Fit with about 4 or 5 other occupants of that vehicle, exhibiting road rage to the point where they threw a liquid into the vehicle of the another young driver as well. And we need to understand that should not happen. That is not what should be happening on our roads. Again, personally, it is my view that we're not taking the traffic situation, the speeding and everything as serious as we should. And many of the drivers on our roads these days, they are here as guest workers, as our guests in the Cayman Islands, and the type of behavior they are exhibiting, one wonders whether or not we need to really criminalize dangerous and excessive driving, and then that can be used or be taken into consideration when work permits are being granted as well. But people have to understand that when they are guests in our country, they have to abide by the laws. They don't make the laws. They have to abide by them, and that is not happening, and people are becoming more and more concerned about the situation. So I hope and I trust that our elected leaders are taking this and giving it serious consideration as well. Okay, with that monologue, I want to say to those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that, for the record, birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. Accept no substitutes. Share a Coke with someone special. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And again, this morning, we want to give a big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson, as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, for the record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host. My name is Orrett, and this morning I am joined by Dr. Steve McField in the studio, and will be joined later on by Miss Theresa Pitcairn as well, and have a little exciting news to share with you about their presence here on Radio Cayman and For the Record in the coming week as well. So you're welcome to call us on our numbers. Of course, the beautiful radio voice in the studio this morning, none other than Miss Susan Watson, waiting to take your calls. Those numbers are toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo, 1-800-534-8255, also 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. Put them all on speed dial if you need to as well. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. We see that our latest national hero, Miss Francine Jackson, celebrating her birthday today, and she's 97 years of age today. So happy birthday to our national hero, Miss Francine Jackson, 97 years of age. We also see celebrating birthday today, Sarah Membreno, celebrating her birthday today, and also Sheila Hilton celebrating a birthday today, August 13th. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-out. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes, and share a Coke with someone special. With that, I want to say good morning and welcome back to For the Record this morning. None other than Dr. Steve McField, and round about 8 o'clock or after the 8 o'clock news, we will be joined by Miss Theresa Pitcairn, as well. And Doc, talking off air, you were on the road much earlier than I was, and that accident seemed to happen pretty early when there's not a whole lot of traffic on the road.
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record. Yes, and I got to the junction of Northwood Road and Shamrock Road at 511 this morning, and by the time I got down there to the near Cayman Meadows, Savannah Meadows, I saw the accident. So it must have happened before 5 o'clock in the morning. It's appalling to see what's happening on the roads, as we have said, and I have said, and you have said. So many times on this radio station, we've used the platform that you have here to ask about road safety, to preach about road safety, but that is not enough. What we need is security on the roads. We need traffic police on the roads to monitor the roads. That's what we need. You know, the alarming thing about it is, Mr. For the Record, is the fact that when we only had a few cars back in the day, we had a traffic department monitoring the traffic from in the mornings and in the evenings.
Was given priority.
The policemen were on their motorcycles and their cars going up and down from east to west and north to south. Today we have thousands of cars in the country, thousands of them, and we have no traffic policemen. You know, and I have always been saying to the elected members of the government that it is not enough for them to say that, well, it comes under the governor's portfolio. The police comes under the government portfolio, so therefore the governor is responsible for seeing that traffic is regulated. And then that may be true, but you have to push the envelope. The governor is not on the roads directing traffic and making sure that people are driving safely. It's the people that they hired in the police department. And when you hire people in the police department who do not care anything about what they're doing, who are only here because the dollar is 50 times as much as the dollar in their own country, this is what you are going to get. There is no actual community policing at all in the country. And the problem is that you cannot bring people in and pay them to look after your own affairs when they're not interested in you and your affairs. That's a problem that we have. And it seems to me that the Caymanian electorate, the Caymanian people are not rising up about this and making their voice heard about this. You cannot bring people who don't care about me, who don't care about you, who don't care about your grandfather, who don't care about your father's safety, and pay them money, because all they're interested in is to have a good car,
the almighty
dollar to live better than they did when in their own country that they came from. And you have to start training and protecting your own people. That is a truism. That is the first thing a state does to secure the safety of their own people, and it cannot be done by your own people. So it seems to me that even when we have all of these accidents and all of these deaths on the road, that we do not get the message. We still have not gotten the message, and that is a problem that we have. And it seems to me that it will never be solved.
Yeah, okay, Doc, I want to thank you for that. We have 2 callers on hold. We're going to take the commercial break first, and when we return, we will take those 2 callers. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Spurgeon Andrew Ebanks, OBE, JP, 1914 through 1994. Spurgeon Ebanks served as headmaster in the government schools in North Side, Spot Bay in Cayman Brac, and West Bay from 1935 to 1946. He went to sea for a period of 6 years, returning home to manage his business in West Bay. He served as the sub-collector of taxes and customs for West Bay. He was a member of the Legislative Assembly, serving his district for 3 terms, in 1957 through 1959, 1963 through 1965, and in 1966 through 1968. He was the first Deputy President of the LA and chaired the Cayman Islands branch of the Parliamentary Association. He served on various boards, committees, and tribunals. He was appointed Justice of the Peace in 1961 and received his OBE in 1978. He was a member, elder, and treasurer of the West Bay, now John Gray Memorial Presbyterian Church. Mr. Ebanks was married twice, to Ina Nee Ebanks for 48 years and to Iola Nee Bodden for the last 8 years of his life. He had 4 daughters. He was a kind and considerate man, always willing to help those less fortunate than himself.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
When a hurricane hits, unexpected costs can add up fast. Homeowners are usually out of pocket for these costs to get supplies or make minor repairs. But with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks after a Category 3 or stronger storm, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco Homeowners Insurance. Call 949-8101 or visit cineco.ky for a quote. That's cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
It's a sizzling summer with JN Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for 2 when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with JN Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with JN Money.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage, with tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This summer, happiness is better when you share it. Coca-Cola invites you to share a Coke with someone special. Grab an ice-cold Coke and find a name. Maybe theirs, maybe yours, maybe a surprise. Because nothing says you matter like sharing a smile and a Coke. So who will you share a Coke with today? Find your name, find your friends, and share a Coke. Available now. Stores island-wide.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers on hold in about 10 minutes to go to our 8 o'clock news. And of course, Miss Theresa Pitcairn is in the studio. I want to introduce her as well. So let's go to the callers first. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Connor, it's in regards to the road rage that we're having in this island.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some part of it need to be controlled from the license department. That issuing all these licenses, Mr. Connor, when you go up to that license department, if you find 2 Caymanians sitting in those over 25 seats that they got up there and 10 people standing, it's a miracle, you know. I was down on South Sound Road last week Wednesday after 6 o'clock in the evening, and this Tesla came out of his residence, I would assume, on the left, and instead of him coming up and stop to look to see if anything is coming, he came right in to my lane. So we had like a cross in the road. He's there and I'm there. So, you know, I blowed my horn and stopped, and he showed me the bird.
Mm-hmm.
And went about his business. So you see, when we bring these people here, and I got to spell it out. We all give the black people hell. The white folks do just as bad as the black folks. And this was a white man. And where was he going? To the rubber field right there in South Sound. But yet we got a cross in the road with his car and my car. He had no business to be in my lane until he see what is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And wait until what was coming to cross, and then he comes out. But he was going to show me that he wanted to come out first. You understand? But anyhow, you know, we got police officers who is taking their days off to teach people driving on our streets when they should be doing their duty to keep us protected on our roads, in our homes, and wherever else. So I feel that this thing about having officers having 2 and 3, 4 days off from work, they're here doing their own business, and our island is going on the drain because we don't have sufficient officers to put in their places when they are not working. So that's half of why Cayman is going down the hill road while these guys are off. These other officers can't be here and there at the same time. And if this continue, if we don't start getting a 9-to-5 job for these police officers so we can have more officers on the road, we're not getting any better. And don't care who's the head of the police department, governor, whoever, it's nothing going to change because they don't. It's like they don't have any. They're not using their common sense, and they're not seeing, or they're just blinding their eyes to what's happening on our street, and don't give a rat. That's not what Cayman is about. You know, that's not what Cayman is about.
Mm-hmm.
And when the officers are parked on the road from time to time, people need to stop flashing the other cars that is coming to let them know that there's a police officer up the road to catch somebody. That needs to stop.
Yep.
It needs to stop.
So true.
And the road rage doesn't get no better. And it's talk about road rage. I hope they know the road rage works in the grocery store. It works on the road. It works in the restaurants. It works pulling on a door to open into a business and so forth and so forth. But we got a lot of problems on our hand in talking about hope the government got to this and the government got to that. If all of the government couldn't fix it, I don't know why people sit down thinking that this government here got the bullets that it can fix everything that we need fixed on this island. Well, we got to stop it. Mm-hmm. We need to try to help fix it ourselves. And how we can do that is going out and getting ourselves in trouble. But, Mr. Connor, I'm going to let you go. I got to use this term, we got too many little young punks coming to Cayman, and they bad boy. Mm-hmm. And when they get on our roads, they are extra bad on our roads, and nobody can touch them because they got a license.
Yep.
We need to work at our license department first and then on. Thank you.
Thank you. And people have to realize it is a privilege to work in the Cayman Islands, and it is a privilege to be able to drive in the Cayman Islands. Neither of those is a right. They're not a right. And maybe we have to be more serious about it. Let's grab the next caller before we go to our 8 o'clock news. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Connor.
Morning.
And good morning to your distinguished guest there.
Good morning, Lord Graham.
Yeah.
Good morning, Lord Graham.
I notice, see now you have cut out the middleman. Yeah. I know.
Cutting costs, you see, you got to save. I got to cut costs.
Yeah, but that was the same thing I tell one minister. I said, instead of us hiring you guys, we should elect the people that do the study, because everybody gets in, bring in some expert to do a study. So I say we should hire the people that do the study and cut out the middleman. So you did exactly that. Got me right out. All right. Talking about traffic, I just want to chime in on that a little bit.
Sure.
Dr. McField spoke about traffic department and the cars back then. Back then, we had a dedicated traffic department run by a superintendent, Kevin McCann. That was specifically for traffic. We had people like Gilbert McLean, Gilbert McLaughlin, Dexter Ebanks, Wolford Briggs, Wilfred Miles, Derek Elliott, and those handful of guys put the fear of the youth, fear into you road users. I mean, everybody knew those household names. And whenever they were on the road, people knew, because John just spoke about common sense. Hear the common sense that Wilfred and those guys had. They would come out on a Friday evening. I think the shift came on at 6, Friday or Saturday. And what they would do, one car, one single car per shift. And they would drive around with their blue lights on all night, all early part of the night. They used to do it from 6. They would put those blue lights on and drive all over the place. Everybody would say, boy, gotta be careful tonight. The police are out, boy, the police are out tonight. But it's only one car. One single car with 2 officers. And they put the fear into every road users in Cayman. Everybody had knew those names. And nobody, I mean, they get a couple of people speeding and the likes. But they control the road users on this road of the Cayman Islands, because we had a traffic department that was dedicated just for traffic, with a superintendent heading up the department. That was what we had back then. Now, like Dr. McField says, we have millions of cars on the road now, and no traffic department at all. So that look like we're going backwards, Mr. Moderator.
Yep.
We're going backwards.
Yeah, no, we have to take this thing seriously. We have
to take this serious. And then we got people on the road now that haven't driven a car in their life. Part of our culture with driving, And I say that to say we couldn't wait till we get 17 to get a car, or to get to be driving. We were driving. Everyone, we got people coming here now, 38 years old, that have never, ever, ever driven in the front seat of a car, and now we're giving them a car to drive. That's one of the most dangerous weapons, a motor vehicle.
Yep.
But Lord Graham, it's not their fault. It's our fault.
Yeah.
We curse them and we say this and we say that, but it's not their fault. It's our fault. This is our place. It's our home. I mean, would you allow someone to come into your house with your wife and children and stuff and do the things that they do? I wouldn't allow that in my home, and I wouldn't allow that in my country. And so it's us to be blamed. A person can only do what you allow him to do if he's a stranger in your own country. And the problem is that we fail. We sort of don't want to do it. We don't want the responsibility, it seems, to be able to do it. And so we give it to these people who say, well, if you don't want the responsibility, we'll take it. But we're not going to do anything about it. Just give us the money every month.
Yep.
And that's the problem that we have.
Lord Graham, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. We don't even have time to introduce Miss Theresa yet, but we'll do that after the 8 o'clock news. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now is 8 o'clock, brought to you with the kind compliments of Foster's. School starts here. Back to school equals back to busy, and Foster's has the food they need to fuel their day.
Our lunchbox legends are bursting with nutrition and support like Taino fruit chips, organic juice boxes, protein packs, and all the fresh fruit they deserve.
It's everything you need for breakfast on the run, getting recess ready, and the after-school heroes to keep the whole crew powered up.
So fuel their focus with snacks that win every time.
Check out our in-store school zones to make it easy to grab exactly what you need or shop online at fosters.ky/go.
Foster's, where better snacks fuel stronger days.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Caymanbrac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Government saw, quote, higher than budgeted levels of expenditure by statutory authorities and government companies in the first half of the year, up by $12.1 million. According to the Economics and Statistics Office's second quarter financial report, the SAGCs recorded a combined net operating surplus of $7.5 million for the first half of the year, which was $8.5 million more favorable than what was actually budgeted for the operating deficit of $1 million. The report attributes this to results being better than expected at the Monetary Authority, the National Roads Authority, and the Port Authority. These, however, were partially offset by the, quote, unfavorable performance at the Health Services Authority. For the first half of the year, the SAGC's overall performance is $5.7 million behind when compared to the same period in 2024. Local business leaders in the Premier promise more action more often. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has a breakdown from a recent strategy session.
A high-level meeting at the Chamber's headquarters in late July with the Honorable Premier Andre Ebanks and the Chamber Council face-to-face, mapping out how government and business can work better together. Both sides agreed on regular check-ins and more transparency. The Premier noting a key change, government strategic policy statement, will now be delivered within 6 months after each election, starting this October, just before the Chamber's parliamentary luncheon. Economic growth topped the list, with Chamber President-elect Christina Spratt pushing for updated building codes, faster planning approvals, and a national AI strategy. The Premier backed the move, saying the AI committee would be revived and expanded. Workforce development was next, highlighting apprenticeships, vocational training and mentoring, as well as progress on the National Human Capital Development Plan. In terms of public transport reform, the Premier says it remains a long-term priority, likely to be addressed in the 2026-2027 budget cycles. With the cost of living rising, Chamber Councillor Dr. Annette Stevenson shared concerns about the need for pension reform, a customs code review, and a new affordability working group. Chamber President Omari Corbin called for a government accountability scorecard, an idea the Premier says fits with planned digital governance upgrades. The two parties are hoping to meet again in September, aiming to keep the action plan moving forward. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
That being said, employers hoping to get work permits approved will have to wait an extra 2 weeks, with the board taking its annual summer break. CIGTV's Elizabeth Charles has more.
Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman announced the board will hold its final meeting on August 25th before taking a 2-week pause. Meetings resume September 8th. The timing affects hundreds of applications typically processed each month, with Cayman's labor force at over 60,000, according to the fall 2024 survey. Work permits remain essential for filling positions across tourism, construction, and financial services. For employers, the delay means planning ahead. Applications submitted after this week likely won't be reviewed until mid-September, potentially leaving positions vacant during the fall season. Work posted the announcement on social media on Monday, giving employers 2 weeks' notice before the break. The board typically meets weekly to review applications, with each permit costing between $400 and $3,000, depending on the position. Employers with urgent staffing needs should submit applications immediately to make the August 25th deadline. The Work Permit Board will resume normal weekly meetings on September 8th.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News.
Key European leaders and President Zelensky are holding a meeting before pressing Ukraine's case to Donald Trump ahead of his planned summit with Vladimir Putin on Friday. They're expected to warn against making concessions to Russia that would compromise Ukraine's international borders. Russia has dismissed the European diplomatic initiative as insignificant. There have been intense Israeli strikes in Gaza, particularly on Gaza City, ahead of a new offensive to take over the territory. Israel's army said it was carrying out new operations. Amid an ongoing heat wave, wildfires continue to blaze across parts of Europe, including the Iberian Peninsula, Greece and Balkan countries. There are dozens of blazes in Spain. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Start. Stop. That's how long it takes to react to a child crossing the street. How long would it take you to apply the brakes? How long would it take the parents to forgive you? How long would it take you to forgive yourself? Slow down. Save a life. Not only theirs, but your own. Texting, speeding, and ignoring safety rules can cost lives. Visit gov.ky/road safety to learn more and help keep our roads safe.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure is 29.97 inches and rising. The wind is east at 9 knots. Overnight low was 83. Synopsis indicate residual moisture lingering across the northwest Caribbean will allow for the chance of some isolated showers at times today. Gentle winds and seas will also prevail through today before decreasing Thursday as the pressure gradient begins to weaken. Radar imagery shows scattered showers mostly southwest of the Cayman area, moving towards the west-northwest. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, continues to issue advisories on Tropical Storm Erin, which at last check was located across the central Atlantic Ocean. This system is expected to continue moving westward over the Atlantic. Tropical Storm Erin poses no immediate threat to the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor this system for further development. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly sunny skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures today will be in the low 90s with a heat index near 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, partly clear skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, mainly across Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 knots or less, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. High tide will be this afternoon at 12:35, low tide again this evening at 6:20. The sun will set this evening at 6:53 and will rise tomorrow morning at 7 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for a tropical wave to drift across the Western Caribbean on Thursday, which may bring some showers at times around the Cayman Islands. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. Should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC is giving us some trouble. Sorry folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
Just one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on!
We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CG Britgay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britgay, where people come first.
When I first started going to Healthcare Pharmacy, it was because it was convenient. But over the years, I continued to shop there because I trusted them. One day I was picking up my prescription, and the pharmacist noticed an over-the-counter medication in my basket. She said, "I hope that's not yours. It will interact with your prescription." And I thought, wow, thank you. Trust is so important when it comes to your health. Healthcare Pharmacy, with 2 locations, Grand Harbor and Governor Square, where they care about my health.
Your mornings just got a whole lot buzzier. Join me, Kathy Miller, every Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. on The Buzz, Radio Cayman's morning talk show with insight, impact, and inspiration, covering business, policy, finance, health, culture, and the biggest local and global issues impacting our Cayman community, with fresh perspectives from younger generations to stories of inspiration from local entrepreneurs. Tune in and turn up Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 7:30 to 9:30 with me, Kathy Miller, on The Buzz. The Buzz.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning to you. Let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way flowing at a moderate pace in both directions. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is flowing at a good pace. Further down, a little different story as traffic is steady but flowing. As you approach the Linford-Pearson Highway, coming off of the Linford-Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic is steady. Slow-moving traffic on Crew Road, expect some delays. And heading east on Crew Road, traffic is moving on light to moderate, as well as on Owen Roberts Drive, flowing light to moderately. And as we look to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. Coming off of the Esla Tibbetts Highway, moderate flow of traffic. And continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, flowing at a good pace. Into Georgetown on Shedmore, looking pretty good. Out of Georgetown on Shedmore, moderate flow of traffic. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, moderate flow of traffic, and that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
There's something new at Subway. Indulge your taste buds with our new barbecue pork rib sandwich tender. Smoky pork ribs smothered in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, built just the way you like it. It's bold, rich, and seriously satisfying. But hurry, it's here for a limited time only. Order now on the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick in-store pickup, or get it delivered with Bento or Let's Eat. The all-new barbecue pork rib sandwich, only at Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Yummy.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station. Your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Are you feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed out, or suicidal and need support? Call 1-800-534-6463. K-Mind, Mental Health Helpline. It's okay to ask for help. K-Mind Mental Health Helpline, available from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. It's free and confidential support and guidance on your emotional and psychological health.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me two icons, Caymanian icons, real, genuine, to the bone Caymanians, Dr. Steve McField and Miss Theresa Pitcairn.
Very interesting.
Yes, and Dr. Pitcairn. Now, I want congratulations on her honorary doctorate that she received also. And folks, just to let you know, some good news. Both of them, they will be co-hosting For the Record from the 18th until the 25th of this month. Monday the 18th until Monday the 25th, they will be co-hosting For the Record. And I want you to I know I don't have to tell you this because you're going to do it. Throw your full support behind them because these are the people that you keep asking for. Where are they? When are they coming back on? And all of those things as well. So, Ms. T, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
So, good morning, OC. Good morning to the wider Caymanian community. And not just Caymanians, anyone that is listening and allowing us to enter their space this morning. Can I just jump into this whole issue that you guys were raising? Because it is annoying, but I want to preface my comments by saying that Caymanians don't necessarily respond well to criticism, okay? We don't respond well to criticism, even objective criticism. We take things personal and get into our feelings. The other issue is the whole cultural invasion that we're experiencing. And people will talk to us in confidence, but in terms of raising their voices so that they're heard, they're always fearful. I just want to comment a little bit on the initial caller that I was listening to as I came in. The lady spoke of doing something and doing what we're not supposed to do. Let me tell you, Cayman will remain the same, where folks come here and do as they like because they can. The reason why they can is because we seem to continue to have this fear of doing what is right for us.
Right and necessary. Yeah.
This is it. So when you talk about freedom of speech and standing up to get for folks, because we see time in, time out, each 4-year term when we have leadership. And again, the whole idea of leadership, what does that look like? Something basic like cars, for example, with all of the tint, right? That we all see, and we know that it is illegal. The tint that I'm referring to is where you can't see inside the car. This is actually here. Tell me how many police have seen that. Tell me whether this existing commissioner of police have seen something as basic as that and hasn't even done anything about it. The worry that I have, continue to have, is that we have a predominantly police force with a certain culture. And I mean, if I were to identify that, people would get in their feelings and they would say that I'm being racist when I'm not, and just speaking the truth. And folks don't trust them. Folks do not trust them. I worry from time to time, what if it were the case that folks are here and they're accustomed to guns? We listened to, someone sharing a concern that they had earlier this morning, and how that person coming from the community was just fearless about stopping a younger guy. And again, the comment made was that, we're going to wait until the young people do so and so. So we're waiting until our young folks who don't have the experience do something that is a little crazy, end up in jail when we as adults stand up and do nothing. So This is it. You're inviting Dr. Steve and I on the show next week. This is what I'm about. I am just unconcerned with the way in which we respond when we're in, on the, because we have to talk about the truth. We have to talk about the unblemished truth among ourselves and then hold us accountable as well. If we see the governor is not doing a good job, let's call a spade a spade. Who holds her or the institution accountable? Nobody not asking those questions, OC. Nobody not. I am not saying that she isn't or the institution isn't, but what I'm saying is that leadership starts at the top, and it starts at the top for us with those folks that we elect as well. We talk about we bring in people every 4 years and the behavior is the same and so on and so forth, but those are people that we choose. We go to the polls and we elect them, and when they don't deliver and when they don't, we have to stand up and hold them accountable.
Yep, I agree. We have 3 callers. Let's grab the first caller. We're going to ask each caller, try to please be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
The early caller that always speak about the traffic has prompted me to call. Coming from South Church Street on Monday, there was, the one way by the museum that goes to Gordon Avenue. We were coming from the, South Church. I'm here, it's called Seafarers Way now. And then was an oncoming car, heading out to Seafarers Way. And there was, I recognized the nationality, coming down from Gordon Avenue, which is a one-way, street. And it was a very, very close call because she was caught in the middle of, the 2 vehicles. After that, I was a passenger in the car, and the lady that I was with mentioned it to a friend. And the friend said that happens all the time. So I'm just putting it out there that nationality hears that. And as Caymanians, we be careful when we drive in there, because if that continues, something serious is going to happen, because pedestrians, walk across that area too. So that is all I have to say on that, and I will hang up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning again, OC.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
And I normally direct my questions to you. I say OC, but now I got to say to your panel there. And I'm so happy that they'll be co-hosting. I'll get a little more time because I don't think that they would be familiar with that cutoff.
Don't worry, they're gonna know all of the tricks of the trade.
Okay. Well, there goes Dr. McField. Don't be running up for him no more. See, this, I listening to Dr. Theresa there. This country, this island, OC, was built on, I wouldn't say simple common sense, but Caymanian common sense. No expertise, nothing. Cayman common sense even from the politician right down to the seaman, to the ladies who twist the rope. And this place was built to a point where everybody wanted to come here, right? To a point where even when politicians got in, and I speak of Mr. Jim Borden, simple common sense, go down to wherever they were causing a problem, say, hey, you need to fix that. This is how it got to be. If not, you need to pack up your stuff because I'm canceling your whatever it is you got here, and you got to go. You got to be on the next flight. Come on, I mean, simple decisions. Now, like Dr. McField said, we don't want to make a decision, and we have the powers. We have the powers to do it, but why don't we do it? We're waiting until what? We get to a point where there's nothing for us to defend. We still have the political power, and I think that's about the only thing we got left, because nobody down there want to get on the radio and talk. We only got now the political power, and sooner or later, if we don't put certain things in place, everybody going to be able to run for office sooner or later. So if we don't do it now and make those decisions where we think might not be popular, like Dr. Theresa said a while ago, I give her and Dr. McField kudos because they're not afraid to say exactly what have to be done or what have to be said. They're like me. I'm not afraid. I think I'm one of the baddest boy in the kitchen. I'm not afraid.
Yes.
You know? And if they come for me, don't miss. So that's what I'm saying. We got to get back to basic common sense. And we know, we all been here before. A lot of people come and see it the way it is now, but they don't know how we got here. We know. So we know what it takes to fix it going forward because we know the way it used to be before. So I don't know why we are afraid. Why are we afraid to make certain decisions?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain people in our society that we don't need. Let's get rid of them. And concerning the police, some of the poor policemen don't have no other choice, you know. They don't have no other choice because I know where police are being threatened. If you do me this or that, I can deal with the people back home. They tell them that. Some of the poor policemen just can't do as they would like to do or what the law tell them to do. So getting back to what I told you before, I need to strip the police of the personnel they have, and I'm going to import Irish and Scottish policemen, give them a 5-year contract, and incentive at the end of their 5-year contracts for every recruit that they went, for every individual they went to the high school and recruited or recruit out of the community, and keep them under their wings and teach them the ropes until their contract is up and ready to leave. That is it. And nobody can be threatening them. How about that?
Sounds good.
Yes,
Graham.
sounds good.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. We're going to grab our WhatsApp caller now. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connell.
Good morning.
Good morning to Dr. Steve and Ms. Pitcairn.
Thank you.
Well, I have a question. When was the first time that we had elections in the Cayman Islands?
When was the first time we had an election in the Cayman Islands?
1960.
Yes.
1831.
Okay. And since then, and until now, have things gotten better or have things gotten worse?
Well, it depends on what era you're talking about. If you're talking about the era between 1831 and 1865, when Caymanians were in control, Cayman was an independent country run by Caymanians, run by Carmel House. That means upper house and lower house, the lower legislature, and Caymanians were independent then. And in 1863, the British government put us under the control of Jamaica, gave the Jamaica legislature the right to make law for the peace, order, and good governments of Cayman and to administer Cayman as if it was part of Jamaica. That was a period of non-satisfaction between Cayman and Jamaica until 1962, when Cayman became a colony from the United Kingdom. And so there were three different eras where things were different in each one. Today, we have more autonomy than we ever did, except for the period between 1831 and 1863. But we're not as free as we were in 1831 to 1863 because now we have a constitution that does not give us complete control. We are handcuffed in many ways. And for instance, the matter we're talking about today, we were talking about the system of traffic control. Traffic control belongs to the portfolio of the governor, and the governor is the one that hires the people who controls the traffic, which is the police. and the police are the people who are not doing their jobs properly or efficiently, and then it's for you to decide. And it's for you to decide, and it's for us, all of us, to decide whether or not we should be urging our elected politicians to do something more than they're doing, and just saying, well, it's not my problem, it's the problem for the governor, it's her portfolio, and she's in charge of the police, so forth and so forth. As I have been saying all along, if they can't do it, either the government, the elected administrators, the executive should say, farm it out to private sector, or give it to the National Roads Authority to do the National Roads, give the National Roads Authority power to hire a highway patrol to patrol the highways, because it's not working. And how many people you're going to get killed? How many accidents you're going to have? How many statistics you are going to quote every year, and you don't see that something is wrong. It doesn't take a booby to know that the nest is not there anymore, and that you can't lay the eggs that you did in the same place.
Caller?
Well, do you believe that voting for people and putting them in the assembly building concerning the present that we have now with the serious mental health problems with our young people and how the cost of living has gone so far now because of the government allowing certain companies to do as they please, and by doing so destroying the future for our young people? Do you believe it makes any sense to vote?
Well,
caller, thank you very much for your question. We're going to go to a commercial break, and when we return, we will have Dr. McField respond to your last question, and Ms. Theresa can chip in as well if she so wishes. So, continue to listen, and as soon as we return from our commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Storms bring wind, rain, and unexpected costs to buy supplies, secure your home, or make minor repairs. Incidental expenses not covered by insurance. Until now, with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks of a Category 3 or stronger hurricane, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco's homeowners insurance. Visit Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the two doctors, Dr. Theresa Pitcairn, Dr. Steve McField, and to remind you that they will be hosting For the Record starting on Monday the 18th until Monday the 25th of August, as well. So, Doc, I want to give you an opportunity to answer the last caller's question, or Miss Theresa, either one of you as well.
Yeah, I guess for me, I would invite the caller to ask himself the question. Don't ask Steve or myself. I mean, we know what our views are. It's less to do about how we feel and more to do with what Caymanians want. You know, Caymanians have to make sense of their environment, and you don't need a degree to know, for example, as the caller rightly pointed out about the cost of living, the changes and the change in the culture that we've had. And one of the ladies that called, and I was thinking to myself, we have a police force that's that's predominantly populated by certain groups. And we're asking those same groups to go and police the people on the street that are causing the infractions. And that is the culture that they're accustomed to. So, it's the whole way this is made up, it's just crazy. And I have to invite our Commissioner of Police to sit down and assess what's going on and come to the people and say, we recognize these are issues and concerns that you have. Here are ways in which that we're going to try to address some of them. I haven't heard any of that, but that to me takes courage. You not only need to have the courage, but you need to have a certain understanding of a certain self-assurance and confidence to stand up and say, these are concerns. I take them seriously. This is what I'm going to do about it. If not anything else, it's just wishy-washy. And we've got to call folks out because we pay them a high salary, and there's a lot of money that's thrown in the police force, and so it's less to do, for example, with the police and policing and the Commissioner of Police, but Caymanians, we pay their salary, we pay it all, and it's a lot of money, and we're here struggling. All of us are struggling. What are we going to do to ensure that our expectations are met?
And what's going to be interesting also is that when this term limits being applied to civil servants as well, and we see already where the government, would be the deputy governor in this particular case, has expressed their concerns, about institutions like the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, teaching profession and everything. But what we don't see, and, we have to be, I'm going to be frank about it. Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, the criticism there in terms of a lot of their activities are directed at the composition of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service and the predominance of Jamaicans in the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. What we have not seen in Cayman is any attempt by that particular nationality in the Royal Cayman Islands Police Force to try to rectify the situation and try to present a different light to the people of the Cayman Islands and those who criticize them for their alleged biases and other things. And I do realize they don't have a union there anymore, but at one time they had an association, and you would figure that they would try to clean up their image, as far as, the perception of the people of the Cayman Islands is concerned, and they don't attempt to do
But
that.
why should they? Why should if it were me?
Yeah.
Honestly, why should they? We have a docile community. We talk up when things bother us.
Mm-hmm.
We speak on our porch when things bother. And when folks like poor Steve and I get up and we call it as it is, you flog us. Although that's changing. I got to say that's changing recently, because people will call you up and say, well, I was really happy with the things that you said and you're calling it straight and whatever. But we have a docile community, and we even and let me also say, because it's not all Jamaicans that have this particular
exactly
right.
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
the intention is not to suggest that that's the case, but obviously the optics are clear. I know folks don't trust them. It's bad enough that they don't trust them, but they don't trust the white folks in the police force either. So when my good friend Lord Graham called about an influx of folks from Europe, I don't care where anyone comes from, as long as they put the Cayman Islands and its people first. I really, really don't care. So
we got 3 callers on hold. We're going to again ask each caller to please be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'd like to call her Lady Pitcairn.
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
And Dr. Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. We got to look up to our people here. But something I want to talk about this thing with this mentally ill business. What's going on here in Cayman? I mean, how comes that all of a sudden the last couple of years you hear about so many people going crazy or whatever it is, and as soon as some people put their hands on Caymanians, they're walking around town and going through all kind of things and can't find their way, and some people eating all the garbage. Well, what kind of care is that? What kind of care is that? I mean, something wrong there. Somebody need to change up something about the leadership there and all this stuff that we hearing about what happened to little. I don't want to talk too much about this little girl up inside the hospital. What happened to the little girl? And all kind of different things, because I walked across there one time and I heard sexual sounds like somebody was having sex, and then somebody stopped us. So something nasty is going on. Somebody is not in control of that place down there.
But we did see the management at the Health Services Authority, while it may have been a knee-jerk reaction to a situation, they were reacting rather than being proactive, that they did attempt to remedy the situation, expand the capacity, and also to segregate the various ages in AGES in there as well. So an attempt has been made to rectify that as well. Caller, thank you very much. Let's grab the last caller before we go to a commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning.
And good morning to Dr. McField and Miss Theresa.
Good morning.
I am one of those kind of Caymanians that are passionate about trying to see if we can protect our own people by informing them, because our educated society is unfit for slavery. But when it comes into accountability, right, on this island, people love to live offended so that they can avoid accountability. And because of that, they remain victims of their lives, their entire lives. They can avoid growing up and being mature. And we got a lot of those type of people on our roads. We got a lot of people on our roads that are immature drivers because they tend to want to please people by being on time all the time and always in a rush. And speeding is one of the biggest things that we have on our islands. I've lost a lot of friends by speeding. They don't take in consideration their ability of driving under the influence, especially because under the influence is a very popular thing being on this island. more than 80% of the people are drinking alcohol, and especially our Caymanians. And then we invite 57% of the population that has a culture evolve around partying and drinking. They also participate in influencing our people to do the same. But with the police, I like what Lord Graham was talking about with the two officers that drive around in one vehicle with the lights on. I've always talked about deterring offenders from doing offensive things. And when we have people that are warned not to do something, it's a constant reminder. But when we do not remind them by turning off the lights and telling them almost as if they're not existing on the road, the police, this is the biggest problem that we have on our island, is that the people are so comfortable without rules. They follow their own rules. And then we have like anarchy, where they have missiles. The people are piloting these vehicles, 2-ton vehicles, 1-ton vehicles, whatever it is. The damage is dangerous. The damage is deadly. And we don't have people taking it very serious. We don't stand up. Like what Miss Theresa said, we all tend to be docile people on this island. Well, I could tell you how docile we are, right? When we do something, we don't say much. We just do it. And that's the type of person I am. You see what happened? We have all these people that are afraid of being responsible enough to hold people accountable when their time comes, and blame it on mental illness. You know, the biggest mental issue that we have on this island is that the people don't want to grow up. People do not want to grow up. We have immature adults. And I'm going to constantly emphasize that people with immature actions will constantly be a danger to our society and our community, especially in the community, because we have neighborhoods that people are racing through the roads as if they were the police themselves. And I don't like that. I don't like that. You know, we have West Bay, one of the most densest population other than Georgetown, and we don't even consider putting speed bumps on almost every road that we have in West Bay. I think it's a great idea that they're doing the initiative of putting out the pedestrian crosses and the speed bumps, but the speed bumps are not helping when it comes into the size that they are at. The speed bumps only allow people to just feel a little hiccup, and then they're reminded, oh yeah, you got to slow down. But by the time they slow down, they're already done hit somebody or they're endangering others. So I don't know. What we got to do with our elected officials is that they need to hold themselves accountable to making sure that the people in their constituencies are very safe in the neighborhoods first, because the main roads is one thing. We have the patrol, the traffic officers that should be on the highway 24/7, not stopping people, but being present.
Caller, thank you very much. We have to go to a commercial break. I want to close off the phone lines for a few minutes. When we return, probably open them up 15 minutes after we do our headline news at 9 o'clock, because I have a few WhatsApp questions here as well that are directed towards our panel. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Dr. Theresa Pitcairn and Dr. Steve McField. I have a question here, Doc. And person says, good morning, Mr. Connor. Can you please ask Dr. Steve McField his feelings and thoughts on the Electoral Boundaries Commission? When should the government deal with the constitutional requirements, in relation adjustments? What is the legal obligation of the government on the government at this time in light of it not being completed in the last administration? That is the Electoral Boundaries report, but it was rejected.
That is not true. That it was not completed.
Mm-hmm.
The boundaries. The Electoral Boundary Commission duties were completed before the election last year.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was completed almost a year before the election last year. And as you, I don't know if you have the report from the observers who dealt with it.
I'll bring it up. I'll find out.
Real thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened with the electoral boundary report? Because some people in the who's run for election were not satisfied with the changes that were necessary that the commissioners made, and so they rejected it, which they did not have the right to do so. Mm-hmm. They rejected it in cabinet, and then they rejected it in parliament. And so the election was held without the boundary report taking into account the size of the constituencies.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, Bodden Town West, which they pointed out, and one of the other constituencies, Bodden Town West has something like nearly 1,800 people in that constituency, compared to East End, which has 899, and the Boundary Commission was saying that has to be dealt with. Bodden Town West, and I think it's Bodden Town West and East and West Bay South, had already exceeded the international required numbers of 10%, more or less. Those were not. We recommended that some of those boundaries. We didn't recommend to shift the boundaries in West Bay, but we recommended that the boundaries in the Eastern District, where the population had outgrown the constituencies, that their adjustment should have taken place there. The government refused to accept the boundary report, and the boundary so the election was held where the constituencies were not even. They were all the constituencies in the Eastern District was not even. We even recommended extra seats for the legislature, for Parliament, and that was rejected also. So the Boundary Commission is supposed to be held every 8 years.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Every 8 years, and so I don't know if it's if it would make any sense to have it now, because you would have to do it 8 years against 8 years hence. So by the time the Boundary Commission report will be able to come out in 8 years' time, the constituencies will be almost twice as large as they are today because of the increase in population going there. But the Boundary Commission, the boundary report was made long time before the election, and the government had time to shift the boundaries, to adjust the boundaries so that it could be an even election, and the boundaries should have been even. So the idea that there was no boundary report is a fallacy. The government rejected it twice. They rejected it in Parliament, and they rejected it in the Cabinet.
Okay, Ms. T, anything that you want to respond to the previous callers as well? Because I know we just took the callers rather than having you respond to each one as they completed their.
I lost my train of thought because I was listening to what Steve was talking about with respect to the Boundary Commission and waiting another 8 years. And again, that's just another example of folks not holding people accountable. So, I don't know.
Because you see, one thing that the observers made reference also to were the fact that in Cayman Brac they have a carve out in the Constitution that those constituencies, although they're small, you cannot touch them, you cannot adjust them because they have a special place in the Constitution. And so East Side and North Side do not have a special place in the Constitution. And we recommended that they go and amend the Constitution now to give them a special place in the Constitution. That has not been done. So the Boundary Commission say, according to how it works now, it's not fair to have Bordentown West, for instance, with near 1,800 people, and East End with 899, unless you have a carve out in the Constitution also to protect those two constituencies.
Okay, I found something here in their executive summary, and when they speak to boundary delimitation, it says boundary delimitation rules and practices did not result in an equal weight of the vote, with significant differences in the ratio of numbers of voters to elected representatives.
Well, you have to go to the main body of the. That's just a summary.
Yes, yeah.
If you go to the main body, you'll see exactly how they dealt with it.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I can find that as well.
OC, while you search for that, a thought came to my mind, and I mean, there's no intention, obviously, for me to want to stick on the whole police force and policing and so on. But I thought,
but if it needs to be talked about, we need to.
Well, my mother was Cayman's first policewoman. Let me just say. I
have an affinity for the police.
This is it. And my uncle obviously played a significant role as well. But when you think about the leadership in our community, and when you think about who actually is authorized to carry guns, for someone like myself who has always been transparent, who has always had, life has taught me about the value of taking care of myself, right? And being unafraid to speak the truth. I mean, that was one of the things with my mom, and she, folks said to me over the years, one of the reasons why she was never promoted was because she was authentic and she wasn't somebody who's taking any money under the table, just saying. But I don't know how I would feel if I were an elected leader, knowing that folks who are supposed to take care of me and who hold the guns may not have my best interest at heart. Now, that's a thought I'm thinking about when, I was listening to the caller that came, the person that sent you the call and you were sharing it with us. And I was just thinking to myself as Steve was talking about the Boundary Commission, I said, well, oh my goodness, how would I feel if I'm in a leadership position and if I were to take my role real seriously? And by seriously, I don't mean, I went to the Miss Cayman on recently, and Reagan was saying about being pion. But I would not want to be a pion politician, right? So I would want to hold people accountable and, fly in my lane for sure. But these are real questions that have to be asked. And, nobody not asking it. So I'm just saying it and putting it out there because, this was a thought that came to mind as I was listening to the conversation.
Okay, top of the hour, headline news. When we return, I will share with you, so Dr. McField can speak to it as well, what the CPA election observers had to say about boundary delimitation, and to answer the question that was sent earlier for Dr. McField. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The Family Resource Center is kicking off its next 13-week SNAP program on September 1st, with sessions being held weekly at 5:30 p.m. You'll need to register by today, though, and you can do that by emailing frc@gov.ky. In international news, European leaders are holding talks with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of a Trump-Putin summit on Friday. Trump says the European leaders, quote, want to see a deal done, but they are expected to reiterate that no decision should be taken without Ukraine when the U.S. and Russian presidents meet in Alaska. Zelensky, who's expected to hold a call with Trump today, says Russia should be put under pressure for, quote, the sake of a just peace. Meanwhile, Moscow has reiterated its conditions for peace and their demands, which neither Kyiv nor Europe have seen as viable. Trump said last week that there would be, quote, some swapping of territories to the betterment of both Russia and Ukraine, which sparked concerns in Kyiv and across Europe. On the ground, Russia currently controls about 20% of Ukrainian territory. And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has indicated that Gaza ceasefire efforts are now focused on a comprehensive deal to release all the remaining hostages at once. The plan previously being pushed was for an initial 60-day truce and partial release of living hostages. Hamas says a delegation of its leaders is in Cairo for, quote, preliminary talks with Egyptian officials. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going to continue our conversation with Doctors Pitcairn and McField. So on the election observers report, boundary delimitation, Doc, international law establishes the principle of equal suffrage of one person, one vote, something that and these are my words now, that people in the Cayman Islands some people in the Cayman Islands still don't seem to understand and appreciate. So international law establishes the principle of equal suffrage, or of one person, one vote, requiring that the vote of one elector should be equal to that of another. This implies that the ratio of voters to elected representatives should be as near to equal as possible across constituencies. These principles are reflected in the Constitution of the Cayman Islands, which states that, and they quote, "There will be an equal ratio between the number of elected members of Parliament representing each electoral district and the number of persons qualified to be registered as electors in that district." The rules on equality have not been well respected, as the boundaries are out of date and the numbers of voters in constituencies deviate from the rules. The constituency of West Bay South, for example, was the most populous with 1,773 registered voters, while the constituency of East End had 899. Specific deviations are permitted to ensure representation of the voters of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman in Parliament. Constitutional rules, as set out in Section 88, require that an electoral boundary commission be appointed by the governor no later than 8 years after the last such commission submitted a report to Parliament. The last report was accepted in 2015 with the recommended changes in boundaries then introduced for the first 2017 and subsequent 2021 elections to the new 19 single-member constituencies. These boundaries were retained for the 2025 election, failing to comply with the constitutional provision for an equality of votes per district. An electoral boundaries commission was appointed in January 2023 as constitutionally required, but the Parliament rejected the Commission's report on the 26th of July 2024, with a revised report also rejected on the 31st of January 2025. As the recommendations from 2015 were retained, the boundaries, as noted above, failed to reflect demographic changes that have taken place in the Cayman Islands during the past decade. So, there we have what they've said. Now, it says that no later than 8 years. So, if we were to interpret that, that means that it can happen before the 8-year period.
It could happen because we had a boundary commission 1 year before the election.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think about 6.5 years now.
Mm-hmm. So a new boundaries commission could be impaneled at this point in time if there was the will to do so.
Yes, at that time, but not now, because it would. By the time we get to 8 years down the line, would change again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, it would be so close. Yes. I get what
but
you're
we
saying.
But we could do it for the next election.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
To make it to even it out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then continue 8 years after that again.
And it falls under the governor's purview.
Yes,
for that to take place, not the elected representative.
The elected representative have nothing to do with it. It's a complete independent body under the governor. The governor appoints one person to represent the government.
Mm-hmm.
The governor represents one person to represent the opposition,
Mm-hmm.
and the governor represents the chair, which is usually someone from abroad.
Mm-hmm. A substantial amount of money was spent on that report as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And many meetings were held in different districts.
You have a view on this?
Well, it seemed as though the politicians didn't have an appetite to make the kind of changes that ought to have been made.
Okay. You're saying that they didn't seem to have their appetite?
It wasn't in English. It was not in their best interest to do what was right by the Caymanians.
And to follow the law. To follow the Constitution.
Exactly. Again, I mean, if this is, I mean, I'm all about telling the truth. I am not here to shame anyone, but with something as serious as this and the money that was spent, Caymanians sat back and said absolutely nothing. You know, so again, you ask yourself, what will it take, really and truly, what will it take to enliven the community in such a way that they become invested in their own best interest? I mean, what will it take? I'm thinking about democracy. It's better than autocracy. But democracy is facile unless you bring the people along with you. The citizenship must be sufficiently informed, but not just know what to do, but be motivated to do what is right for them. And right now, you hear folks, and I mean, this is not only on this talk show. When I go out and I listen to people, folks are the people are the quickest to say, you wait until them young people get up. You think they're going to put up with all of this, everybody keeps talking about this young people that is supposed to take on this huge responsibility. I think it's unfair, and I obviously don't subscribe to that particular view. We know what we're going through now, and if we're going to wait until a young guy or a young lady actually does something silly enough to get themselves in problem and then go to jail, and as we can see, the people who go to jail are our own children. They are our boys and our girls, and our boys in particular. So we have adults saying that we're going to wait until they do what?
Yes.
And then the other thing that they will say, well, Theresa, all societies go through this. And I says, yes, societies ebb and flow, and they have the challenges. But I say, we know better. And I says, because you know better, you're not going to want to try and do something to secure an environment for your children, for your grandchildren. I honestly, Steve, I don't know. But that is something that keeps me stumped. I just can't get past that mindset.
Now,
let me put it to you this way.
Go ahead. Yeah.
At one of the meetings we had, one of the politicians at the time came to see us at the meetings. He was yes, and he says to us to explain the adjustment in the boundaries, and we explained the adjustment in the boundaries that had to be made in order to maintain the international standards of one man, one vote, equality. That a constituency should not be 10% more or less than the other constituency, and when we showed him where the boundary would fall, the new boundary would fall, as opposed to the old boundary. So he said to me, I'm going to lose some of my support. And I said, yeah, you'll lose some support here, but you'll gain some over here. But he said, I don't know those people that I will gain. And I said, well, sir, that's how the situation works. We have to shift the boundaries. You have to shift the boundaries. I say, where some of your supporters will be voting voting last year, they would not be voting in that same place next year. And he said, well, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. And he shut the whole thing down. And he told us right away that that's not going to happen.
And
that's not going to happen. That's what they told us right away. And I mean, the chairman, Dr. Hadley from Washington, D.C., was surprised that here's a person who is an elected member in the government, is supposed to comply with Section 89 and 90 of the Constitution. and told us right away that that's not going to work. That he's not going to comply with the report.
So
even before we gave it to the governor.
What would be the remedy in terms of could we legally challenge the government in relation to not complying with the Section 8 and 9 of the Constitution?
But who's going to do that? Outside of Theresa, the Dr. Pitcairn, myself, and some other people, and it takes money to do that because you got to go to judicial review, you got to go to court, and you got to challenge the whole government, and the government now has all the resources to fight against you.
And would it be in the governor's best interest? I mean, you see, the thing is, this is the separate. You can't celebrate fish and fowl. No, as my mom would say. And Caymanians are not at that space where they want to and recognize their own people in leadership positions. So this is why we're in this limbo. And let me say loud and clear, I am not encouraging constitutional change one way or the other. So let's just put that out there before people carry my name and say that, this is what she wants. This is who we are, and this is the state of play. And unless and until we actually recognize each other, respect each other, and actually have a willingness to have some of our own people lead us. And I mean really lead us.
Yes.
This will continue until ad nauseum. We will continue to be here beating up my mom again. She must be walking with me. Beating up our gums ad infinitum. So for me, this whole thing starts with Caymanian people, what they want, what they're willing to do to get what they want. Because, there's also the view, that Caymanians feel that God's going to come down here and sort all these problems for them. So we're going to sit back and what they say, God hold the wheel. When I say that, I'm not being irreverent or disrespectful. I'm repeating the way in which we respond to stresses in our community. We don't hear the other thing that, in the Bible when we talk about God helps those who help themselves.
Exactly,
right? We don't hear that. We hear taking the rule, taking the wheel and running with this. Unless and until we are invested in our own selves and are willing to stand up and speak loud and clear, that's the only time people are going to take you seriously.
So true.
Until that time, that's us.
Okay,
and
folks.
Mr. For the record, there's an old Confucius saying that caution enables and fear paralyzes.
It's true.
So true. Going to a commercial break. When we return, have a few WhatsApp messages as well we will share with you. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me doctors Theresa Pitcairn and Steve McField. One of our listeners wrote in and said, "Good morning, OC, and to a big welcome back to your guests. I'd like to give the young gentleman who spoke lastly big congratulations and thank him as well." We have a voice note that we're going to play after we take the WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Rambo speaking.
Hey, morning, Rambo.
Hey, morning to the guests. Mr. O.C., I will catch you before you go on your vacation. Yeah, now I will catch you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, O.C., give me 4 minutes. You know my style. I emerged and my leans fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the present era now, right, gerrymandering, the voters pick the politicians, or otherwise the politicians pick the voters.
Yeah.
So two census after between, we draw districts or boundaries. We do districting for the parameters to statistical population. That's the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And hear me out now. When it comes to like taxpayers' money to certain entities, right? The whole valorization of it, the commodity prices, to end the government subsidy. All right. Early on, you talk about the commute going through a junction thoroughfare, right? Most commute you don't comprehend, right? I had 2 cars in my life, right? I got one speeding ticket, right? Remember the Benz Run Police years ago, right? Only one speeding ticket in my life. And in this present era, no, you have to drive for others. Imagine.
So true. Yeah.
They always anger and resignation to mental preparation. And most commuters, they're very submissive. They're yielding to that extent. Okay. And when it comes to the gun laws now, right? Certain jurisdictions, especially US or even the Caribbean or Central America, but particularly US, right? They inherit stand your ground, right? Perceive as a threat, subjective standard to be objective. So everybody has a mentality. So when you hear about one time when they had the regiment, I was very frustrated about it because they need evaluation. If they blow a fuse on marbles, everybody go off. You understand? I asked certain regiment in the past, what kind of arms you have? What kind of British rifle you have? One of them tell me no comment. Do things like that. You understand? And when you have the politicians to normalize certain amendments or politicize it, they need to act on it. Right? As simple as the herb thing. Right? A lot of people don't hear about that. You lucky people voted on the election due to the referendum. Good. Obviously, there's an attrition of voters, either deceased or who don't want to know. You understand? So the public opinion regarding full legalization and regulation of the herbs. That's the expectations of it now. You feel me? So when you talk about the cultivating and harvesting, where we get that from? Who can be the purveyors despite business? Right? But the politicians, right? They have a misinformation and disinformation about it. You feel me? So it's unprecedented. And some people against it, no? In the cramp up mentality, is a disaffection, right? And at the context, it's a spectrum of it. You feel me? So, like I said again, Ms. OC and to the panel, certain jurisdictions, because of the party lines, they won't have a flat line. But Cayman, we have a flat line, gradually.
Mm-hmm.
So when the government now, 2029 or presently, consider national vote, that's the only solution for time.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Some people have talked about the national vote, and we've heard, Dr. McField, and both he and Ms. Theresa speak to that as well. We have a voice note that we're going to play now. I think that voice note will take us through to our next commercial break. Go ahead, Ms. Susan.
Yeah, morning, Mr. OC, and your two guest panelists, the honorary doctors McField and Theresa Pitcairn. Just a question. You were mentioning earlier that somebody mentioned to you that they were recently involved in a road rage situation where some guys driving, I don't know if it was a Honda Fit or what, a group of people in a car in the early morning speeding, and this individual was driving the speed limit. These guys, and I can kind of guess where they're from or what they do, but I don't want to generalize. But they were harassing the person with road rage and even threw some liquid at the individual's car. I heard you say this morning. I was very, not surprised, but very saddened to hear that. And so the question of road rage and reckless driving, careless driving, excessive speed, drunken driving, I think we definitely need to move beyond trying to request or empower the police to do that. The police cannot be everywhere. Traffic, it can be the best traffic department in the world. Unless you have high technology, drones, cameras, a police force that's everywhere, or you call in the National Guard, like what is being done in other territories recently to the north of us, which again is crazy. But unless you do that, you're not really going to have it. So police can't be everywhere. So what I want to ask your two panelists, since they are both legal luminaries, is years ago we had a situation or a system where we talked about citizens' arrests, where the citizens, for example, could be empowered through a package of laws and regulations and rules so that when they see reckless driving, road rage, and stuff like that, they could actually report it, whether it is to take a picture, do a video, upload it to a site, whether it's like a traffic management commission, an enforcement unit, that they could upload these complaints and either call them in or upload them, the evidence, so there'd be proper evidence based on evidentiary rules. And those complaints could be processed by that commission, and the individuals could be warned or whatever the case is, prosecuted. And I would suggest that maybe in the first offense, the based on the evidence, the person is called in and fined and a notation made on their license. And the second offense, whether it's Caymanian or non-Caymanian, they are prosecuted. One would be for the Caymanians, they would lose their license for 5 years based on certain levels of offense. And for non-Caymanians, they would lose their license, their work permit would be revoked, and they had to go back home. We need to step up the enforcement and the fines and the prosecutions to make people know we're serious about this before it's too late. So I leave those thoughts with you, and I ask the two legal panelists this morning, honorary doctors, Steve and Theresa, they could comment on that from the legal perspective in terms of the body of evidence, the procedure, and whether something like that would stand up. I know you have all the human rights issues nowadays under the Bill of Rights, but still, I'm sure we can package something that is compliant with that. So I'll leave that to you all this morning to discuss, hopefully. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, we want to thank that listener and caller for sharing that with us as well. We're going to go to a commercial break now. We want to give our panelists an opportunity also to respond to his query. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
It's a sizzling summer with J&. Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with J&. Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with J&. Money.
When a hurricane hits, unexpected costs can add up fast. Homeowners are usually out of pocket for these costs to get supplies or make minor repairs. But with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks after a Category 3 or stronger storm, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco Homeowners Insurance. Call 949-8101 or visit Cineco.ky for a quote. That's Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Start. Stop. That's how long it takes to react to a child crossing the street. How long would it take you to apply the brakes? How long would it take the parents to forgive you? How long would it take you to forgive yourself? Slow down. Save a life. Not only theirs, but your own. Texting, speeding, and ignoring safety rules can cost lives. Visit gov.ky/road safety to learn more and help keep our roads safe.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We still have a caller on the landline on hold. Let's grab that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, I'm very, very thankful. And I am so pleased to hear the two lovely panelists, lovely in spirit and everything. And I congratulate them for being recognized for all that they have done and continue to do for the Cayman Islands. I didn't catch the whole show, but I caught what Miss Theresa said about wait until those young people come up. No, they're not going to stand for this. And it reminded me of a poem, the responsibility poem about everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. Mm-hmm. And it explored the consequences of inaction and shifting responsibility. In the poem highlights how a task left undone due to the assumption that someone else will handle it ultimately leads to no one taking responsibility and everyone suffering the consequences. And as I'm sure, or my learned friends or friends and you remember, this scenario was an important job that needed to be done, and everybody assumed someone else would take care of it. There was everybody believing that someone else will do the job, and then somebody is expected by everybody to do it, and anybody could have done it but doesn't feel personally responsible. Then nobody ultimately does anything, leaving the job undone. And the outcome of that is the task is neglected and everyone ends up blaming someone else for the failure. So the lesson that we would have learned from that, goodness, I've been to school a long time ago. The poem emphasized the importance of individual responsibility and taking ownership of tasks rather than assuming someone else will handle it. And it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of collective inaction. So that's my little contribution to the Cayman scenario this morning. And I will continue to listen to what you all are saying, your thoughts, your ideas, and suggestions. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Each one.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. I just want to say to our listeners and viewers as well that Ms. Theresa had to leave us a little bit early this morning. So it's just Dr. McField in the studio now with me. In relation to the question posed by the voice note that we received from that caller in terms of, some of the possible legal remedies that could be applied.
Yeah, the caller makes some really... First thing, the last caller made some good points.
Mm-hmm.
The last caller.
Yeah.
And I would like to say to that last caller, to the lady who called us, I am very disappointed to know that there was an era in which we had great Caymanian leaders. They sort of laid the foundation for today. They saw what was coming. They had great foresight. And it seems to me that what I should say now is that I didn't know that they could have been smarter than the generation that came after them. Yeah. That's what I didn't. It all dawns on me. The Bensons, the Willa Farringtons, the Craddock Ebankses, and Charles Cornells, and the Norman Bordens, and all of those people. They saw and they laid the foundation, and they kept the society intact. They stood for the principles that the country was founded upon, mm-hmm. and they enforced the morals of the country. I remember all of the things that we used to not laugh at. We used to poke for them, but we used to criticize Miss Annie Borden about all the things that she was morally in tune with at the time. And now it seems to me like the poem that the last caller just read seems to me that demonstrates that what the place we are today. We just threw up our hands after they left the scene, and no one stood it. No one took charge. No one stood in there. No one took the place, the chance or the opportunity to walk in their shoes. No one stood on their shoulders to view the future ahead, and we just left it. And this is what happens now when we leave it to the younger people, to the next generation. This is what will happen. I now see what the next when I'm gone, what will happen to my society, but because of what I see today. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Today. Mm-hmm. And the
legal remedies.
The caller made some great points. I thought that he probably should put them in writing, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. and give them to us, or perhaps he should put them in writing so that we can develop them next week when we were on the radio. Those are some good points. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the thing and one of the points that made me start thinking. All of that rage went on the road. All of that terrible behavior went on the road, and not a camera to catch it. Not a camera on the highway, mm-hmm. to catch that. When we spent all of those thousands of dollars on cameras that would make it easier for us. All AI facilities that we spent money on has done nothing for us to help us to solve these problems. And it seems to me that would have that should have been caught on camera, and that should have been published all over the Cayman Islands. And that person, even now, it seems to me that the evidence demonstrates that he has assaulted someone, and that should be investigated, and he should be prosecuted, and should never that should never just go by. Well, another hearsay, another talk thing in the community. That should be investigated, and that should be acted upon as quickly as possible, and set an example too.
Okay. One of our listeners wrote and said, "Good morning, Mr. Connor and guests. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be anything that can be done about being blackballed and victimized. This happens to people who come out and speak the truth and expose wrongdoing by the law. This is why the society is afraid to speak out and stand up." So I want to thank that listener, for that as well. Do we have a caller at this point in time? This WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Connor and Dr. McField.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. Sorry, I'm tuning in late as usual. I missed it just before Miss Theresa went off. But I wanted to say, Dr. McField, that your sentiments that you were expressing a few minutes ago, I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I'm not directing this at any particular candidate or politician at all. It's just my view that I've been making observations in alignment with what Dr. McField said. And my view is that for the past, I would say approximately 25 years or so, we have had, candidates and successful candidates that I think they no longer adhere to the moral and patriotic methods and means of what it means to want to represent our country or to represent our country. And I also feel that, it is more these days about power and outdoing the last administration and the last candidates. And I really hope that, we can take a page out of the book, as Dr. McField has indicated. The past our past representatives did. They were very patriotic to the Cayman Islands. They would go tooth and nail. I mean, I'm not as old as either of you gentlemen, but I still remember when I was a young child, how some of the members were going back to even Mr. Linford Pearson and Mr. Truman days. Those gentlemen there, and I hope this show. I want to go back and listen to it after it's finished, but I hope this show will go and reach the ears of our present administration and previous and anyone else that's thinking about public office, and try to take some lessons from our past administrators and get back to that way as Caymanians, because I think our Cayman was, even though it wasn't as evolved and developed as it is now, it was more patriotic at that time, and we were able to stand on our own footing back then, when we had those gentlemen and Dr. McField said Miss Annie and Miss Edna, those females, we can't forget the females, and having them representing us too. But I just wanted to chime in and give that feedback.
Thank you very much, caller, for that.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So, Doc, we mentioned the CPA election observers report. We also had domestic observers as well, headed up by Miss Deborah Ebanks. She was the chairperson of that, or the leader of that observer group, the local group.
What did they say?
Okay, yeah. Here's what they said. It says the Electoral Boundaries Commission, ECB, in 2015 recommended the number of members of the Legislative Assembly be increased from 18 to 19, which was accepted. and the current boundaries were established. A boundary review was conducted in 2023, after which a report with recommendations on how to address the imbalances of the Cayman Islands democratic landscape was provided. In a meeting on the 27th of June 2024, the then UPM government rejected the EBC's report and supported a motion to establish a new boundary commission to redo the review. We recommend that an urgent and thorough review be conducted, be carried out, to address what is now considered a significant size differentiation in the current constituencies ahead of the next general election to ensure fair and equitable representation across all constituencies. So again, they basically are almost echoing what the other agency did as well. We're going to take our last commercial break, Doc, and then I'm going to have you respond to that as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
It's a sizzling summer with JN Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with JN Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with JN Money.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. Still in the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. Dr. Theresa Pitcairn had to leave us a bit early. One of our listeners, in relation to road cameras, says it is understood that due to self-interest, the decision makers at the time were afraid of advanced cameras detecting them with their quote-unquote friends in their own personal vehicles, and it was scrapped. So, Doc, I want to give you an opportunity. You wanted to respond in terms of the domestic election observers' recommendations as well, and they speak quite clearly to the fact that what a proposal had been accepted, but to establish. They supported that a motion to establish a new boundaries commission to review the review. Was that motion apparently was moved and approved, but nothing was done.
Yeah, well, it is important that these democratic constitutional provisions have to be done, to ensure a peaceful society and to ensure a democratic society. What the MPs did was completely illegal and incorrect, and I would like to say it is absolutely necessary and perfectly sensible to implement the changes that were necessary in order to be in the position of that we could not be criticized, especially internationally. I don't think anything that I have said is a fundamental contradiction to the democratic process, and that we did everything that the Constitution said that we had to do. We complied with the constitutional law, and the MPs went down there and they rejected it, and then they passed a motion to say that how it should be rectified. But of course, they did nothing to rectify it because motions do not bind anyone. Motions are only a mechanism to put things off for another time or forever. And that's what they did because they were not satisfied that the Constitution had to be. They knew that the Constitution that the constitutional provisions had to be implemented, but they were not ready to do it themselves. And they were scared that they would lose some votes in the constituency in which they were running, and so they broke the law. They rejected the boundary report, which they had no right to do. Unless they had a report in the legislature, which they did not do, and so here we are now with the constituencies all in array, and we have the same Cayman syndrome continuing. The Cayman CIA, which I am not a part of, and when I speak about the Cayman CIA, I mean cronyism, ignorance, and arrogance. That is what I call the Cayman CIA. Cronyism, ignorance, and arrogance. We are not part of that, and that is the political syndrome that will always continue to bite us, and you know where, and will keep us behind the 8 ball and keep us fighting against each other, because if you do not obey the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, then you are committed. You become a constitutional outlaw.
Yep, definitely. Do we any more calls? No more calls. So we will close off the phone lines as well. Doc, any other area that you want to touch on?
No.
Or some of the things that you're looking forward to discussing?
I'm looking forward to discuss things that Dr. Pitcairn when you are in your absence, and we hope that we will be able to do justice to your show.
Oh, no question about that. You will. You have done it in the past.
Yes.
It won't be your first rodeo.
Yes.
At all. So you have done it in the past, and I'm sure that our listeners and our viewers are looking forward to that as well. Yesterday, I did get an opportunity to share when I was doing Talk Today, to share the information and the press release in relation to the Cayman Islands government gazetting the Q2 2025 financial report, and I see where the Compass carried a story on it as well. I would hope at some point in time to get some feedback from former Minister of Finance, Mr. Chris Saunders, in relation to this, because I know in the past he has been critical about the fact that in being conservative about estimates, what the end result is that it appears as if the government is overperforming, when in fact they're just simply, being extremely conservative about, what their earnings will likely to be. And in this day and age, that really should not happen. So he doesn't see it as being success. He views it as simply not properly forecasting, as well. Be that as it may, it would appear at least so far, and we still have a quarter to go, that the finances of the Cayman Islands government are in pretty good shape. We don't know what will happen in the last quarter, but based on the indication so far, it looks pretty good. My comment yesterday had to do with the fact that the government has certain obligations in our Constitution to maintain certain levels of financing and having money in place to do certain things. But I don't see the role of government being to have a big cash pot sitting there to say, these are the amounts of monies that we have in reserve if the people of the Cayman Islands are suffering, if the affordability level of the people of the Cayman Islands are down. That's money that government has received from the people of the Cayman Islands to begin with. So they should use that money, spend that money to provide a better quality of life for the Caymanian people, rather than just being able to brag to say, this is what we have in reserves, this is what what we have saved the country. Having it there and at the same time, people are starving, that doesn't help any.
Well, there's another part to this also. When we embark on this financial journey, we never envisaged that our people would be in such a position that they are today. Remember when we embarked on this financial journey, all our people were working and were independent, economically independent. Remember we bragged about being a colony, but economically independent. Today, the government, you remember several months ago, the government had to go back to the Cap Parliament to vote to get $45 million, something of $45 million. That money was to look after people in the Cayman Islands, Caymanians who have fallen in below the line of poverty. The government right now is taking care of 1,700 families. 1,700 families paying their rent, paying electricity, giving them money for food, giving them money for health, for clothing, for different things, whatever it is. Taking care of 1,700 families. Meanwhile, SEMA told us, this is the Monetary Authority, told us, that meanwhile last year, 2024, people sent $300 million out of this country to their own country to take care of their children, to build houses, to educate their children, to take care of their old people, to make themselves better off.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that in the first quarter of this year alone, 75 million left the country. That is what they know. That's not what people took in their pockets and sent with other people.
Yeah, that's based on remittances.
That's based on remittances.
Where government gets a fee.
Gets a fee
from it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not the remittances that go to the government. Does not get a fee from. So here's the contradiction that we have to sit down and we have to try to solve. That's the conundrum of the country.
Mm-hmm.
The government is feeding your own people, and other people are feeding themselves and are feeding their own people in another country. And the money is being made, but the Caymanian people have no savings, been able to satisfy their domestic needs that the government doesn't have to take care of them. So we have to look at that too to see how much the burden that the government has to carry extra in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a problem that's a conundrum that we have to solve, and we have to solve it quickly, because if we continue to do this, it'll not be 1,700 families, but it'll be 2,700 families that we have to be on welfare in this country. That is a problem that we have.
Okay. Doc, I want to thank you very much for being here. Miss Theresa as well. And I'm sure that our listening and viewing audience are looking forward to having you both co-hosts for the record starting on Monday. One of our listeners has said, please say good morning to Dr. Steve. Tell him welcome back. I just want to say, so I'll pass that on to you, but you've never gone anywhere. On occasion you have called in, as well. But we know that there are limitations in relation because of the responsibilities that you carry as well. And, But thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of our listeners as well. Welcome you to join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bright.